Hey guys, this is the second day of WISP, and here we are with Matt with Cambium to talk about some products that have recently kind of made some noise, against noise, I suppose. So why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about, Cambium.
Will do. Thanks, Mike. Hi, everybody. My name is Matt Mangriotis. I'm the product manager for the 450 product line. And with Cambium Networks, we've been around since 2011 when we spun out of Motorola. We have a long history of fixed wireless, and we are constantly innovating and developing new products in the space. Today we have two main platforms on the PMP side of things, the multi-point side. We have the ePMP products, which we're introducing some new products there, and the ePMP450m, which is really a harbinger against interference. It helps with uplink interference mitigation techniques with beamforming, smart beamforming, and dynamic interference filter.
I've got one of those, so hopefully it works.
Awesome. And then on the 450 side, we've made strides and innovations as we've launched that product about 3 years ago, and now we're in kind of the fourth year, and we're constantly innovating. We have the 450i platform, very recently introduced, and now supports faster processing speeds, more modulation modes, all kinds of good stuff in that. And most recently, we've introduced the 450m with the cnMedusa technology, which is a massive multi-user MIMO platform, providing what we say typically about 3 times the capacity versus that of 450. And you get to keep using your 450 SMs in the network. So it's all about capacity and spectral efficiency. We're not making wider and wider channels necessarily. We're making better use of the channels we have. So it's a very cool product. We're really excited to get that launched. It started shipping about 2 weeks ago, and we're catching up to the initial orders now through the fourth quarter here. We're very excited about it.
So on this massive multi-user MIMO from Matt, we've got a lot of M's.
That's right.
For people that are running, say, a more legacy platform that is pretty dumb, what does this massively multi-user MIMO mean? What does it do?
So the technology itself is very complex, very innovative, but you can break it down into its pieces to kind of give you an idea of what it's doing. When you talk about MIMO, multiple input, multiple output, you're adding methods of transmitting data from one link to the other, 2 nodes. And you can add different streams to do that. That's multiple input, multiple output. So we got in the PMP450 product prior to this, we have 2x2 MIMO. So you're getting dual streams, thereby doubling the amount of throughput. Now we've increased that with 450m to 14x14. So now we have up to 7 dual pole streams of data coming out of this access point. And because we have beamforming antenna array, now we can do that to more than 1 SM at any point in time, up to 7 SMs. So in effect, you're increasing your capacity by talking to more than 1 SM simultaneously in the same time slot.
That's that's, to really dumb it down, that's a really big deal to in the same space, because not only you're talking to more than one at a time, so you're cramming a lot in there, but from what I understand, that they're in different spots of your coverage area, so that then you can utilize that sort of planning of where the SMs are to plan which do you talk when to maximize interference reduction.
So the algorithm in the access point itself determines how many can be grouped at any given time slot, and it's constantly refreshing information to make sure that it optimizes the amount of throughput. And in terms of your point about interference, because your antenna energy is aimed at the specific subscriber, you're eliminating or reducing noise from elsewhere. So exactly right. It's very, very cool technology.
So then it'll talk to up to 7 at a time, and you mentioned 3 times performance. So I guess that's just because real world people aren't spaced out perfectly. So
correct.
So
and not all of them are asking for data at all the
sure.
same time, and so it's really going through this algorithm every frame, every cycle,
Okay.
and it can readjust and optimize as it goes. So we say on average 3 times throughput improvement versus a 450. So to give you examples with numbers, if let's say you have a 450 sector with let's say 30 customers on it, and it's averaging an aggregate throughput of about 50 megs. If you replace that access point, you don't have to touch the subscribers. Replace that access point. Now we're talking about 150 to 200 megs of
Okay.
aggregate throughput.
That's a big deal.
So it's a big jump by simply replacing your access point.
Now, in the concept of no SM left behind, where is the future of this going?
So on the SM side, we can handle roughly 100 megs at a single endpoint, depending of course on other factors. But we can handle about 100 megs at an endpoint, and that doesn't change with the use of Medusa. It's the sector capacity that's increased, so you can put more subscribers on it. The subscribers will continue to work, we'll continue to support them, and again, we are introducing new subscribers next year.
Okay.
That'll be both more powerful and hopefully more affordable, and that's kind of the path. But we won't, like you said, we won't leave them behind. We are going to continue to support the existing subscribers, and they all will work with Medusa, and they all can interoperate in mixed mode within your sector.
Okay. Yeah. I remember, you had the plain 450, then the 450i, then the 450m. Are the advantages of the I in the M I don't remember what they are, but
so with the evolution of that platform, the I really brought forward a new generation of FPGA, and the M does one better on that. So
Okay.
we're actually another advancement forward.
Okay.
It's a bigger, beefier FPGA. It has to do more work with all these algorithms that it's doing. So we went from about 12,000 packets per second on the 450 to about 45 or 50,000 on the 450i. And now this guy does upwards of 100,000 packets per second. So it is ever increasing, ever advancing technology.
Okay, yeah.
And we're bringing all the smarts that are in the software and building new hardware to get better every time as well.
Okay. So then where spectrum-wise will we be seeing this?
So right now, 450M is 5 gigahertz, and it'll support 5.1 to 5.8, so all of the 5 gig bands, as the approvals get granted, of course.
Sure.
Right now, it's 5.8. We are committed to doing cnMedusa technology in the 3 gig band as well. That's
Okay.
going to come late next year.
Okay. And then, given the time of the release, probably then we'll also have CBRS support.
We are actively working with the WIN forum to develop the rules. We are staying engaged in that, and we fully expect all of our 450 hardware to be able to be compatible with the CBRS
Okay.
rules, and communicate with the SAS and all that stuff. Today's hardware, the 450 3 gig hardware that's out there today, is capable technically of operating in 3550 to 3650 as well. Once that gets finalized and approved and the SAS comes out, then we will see what we need to do exactly to make it work in that band. But we are confident we will make that happen.
Sure. Yeah. I would imagine that most of that, if you've got as flexible, powerful hardware as you guys have, at least on the customer side, it seems like it's just back end work, to get the access point to talk to properly to the SAS,
Right.
to facilitate whatever it is that they're going to need to facilitate.
It is. It's going to be some time before
Sure.
all
Oh,
of that
sure.
gets finalized. There's a lot
Sure.
of detail that needs to be worked out.
Anything that involves governments and standards takes incredible amounts of time.
We're engaged so we don't get excluded from the process. That's the main point. Is that Cambium is engaged in that process.
Sure. Yeah. And then I've known of your platform over the years. I haven't used it much myself, but I do know that you guys can do. You have a lot more capabilities than compared to some of your other competition, where you can something you hadn't necessarily envisioned when you built it.
So while we're not the cheapest thing in the market,
Sure.
We have the flexibility because we are based on almost all software-based platforms. It's all built on this FPGA, so we can do special things. We can react to feature requests in a much more timely fashion. We're not constrained by standards, so there are some advantages to having that FPGA-based product.
So then, one thing that I did hear, I'm sure others that may have heard it as well, but that it will have an SFP cage.
The 450 Medusa product, the 450m.
I heard that. I heard about that.
It does have an SFP port. That's absolutely true.
Good, good, good.
So we will be supporting that in the very near future. Use fiber.
Now, do you foresee those coming on some of your other platforms?
I think when we develop into the future, that is definitely a consideration. As we are able to support higher and higher bandwidths, that becomes more necessary to eliminate noise on the Ethernet line, all that stuff. That's absolutely, we will always consider that.
I know that I've been asked about SFPs by at least 6 people a day since I got here.
Sure.
So I have to ask, even if it's not just my own desires.
So they must be using.
So that about sum up, 450 advances for the past few months.
So, and like I said, we're gonna get a new subscriber module coming that will be uncapped, more powerful, probably lower priced, and it's exciting times for us. We're really excited to get 450m out there and in wide use, and keep looking for more innovations.
Yeah, the AFMUG crowd should be quite pleased with the SM improvements.
Hope so.
All right, well, thank you for your time.
Appreciate it.